Okay, so welcome to the MySQL class of 25th chapter and 25th class. So we are in 25th chapter of MySQL database. Okay, so here we are doing this from 100 times, but still this is keep coming up the same thing. Okay, so we are creating okay, let's do this again. But the point here is you have to actually try to use this composite primary key than this just simple primary key. But no, this we just use this. We want to table creation with primary key. Okay, we have done that before. Remember, if we not, what's happened to this? Okay. So we are in this kind of database, but we just see here actually. So we have done this. Remember? Oops. Designer. Go to the designer. See, if you see this designer, right? We have a lot of tables. We have not complicated things here. Okay. So we want to create a table with relationship. So this shows the relationship between these tables. You also see views here. Okay, so these are the actually relationship between this tables, between various tables. This is a joke. I mean, the real time looks way more complex than this. And this is nothing. This is nothing. And but yeah, this shows you an idea of having the relationship between these data tables, between one table to another table. Why do we need this relationship? Again, you need this relationship because let's say you're okay. Let's give an example for you. If you want to order something in Amazon, let's say you want to order something in Amazon, you give a lot of information there. Okay, your address, your credit card number, all those things, a lot of information goes here, your name, your phone number, everything. Okay, now you're giving credit card information out there, right? Really, that's a problem. So you cannot store that in one table. Everything, the information, what you're trying to do, you want to separate that into different table and make it more secure. So now it's separated into two different tables because credit card information you cannot put in one table because security, like you cannot. If one table, okay, if your house number or if your address gets hackers able to know your address, your name, that's okay, but not your credit card, right? So that's the reason they put it in more secure table or more secure database. So that's the reason you need this relationship between these two, so that you could get the information from the other table too. Right, so because the data is distributed in all over the place, all over the tables. That's the reason. All right, that was just for your understanding. Okay, so here we are trying to create this table here. So we just create table. So we are doing this 100th time. Okay. So we have created a table called person table and we inserted nothing here, there is no records. Here we go. Yeah, here that was just a primary key, right? Here multiple column primary key, that's called composite primary key. That's very important. That's what it's supposed to know there actually. So what? How do you create that? So here we are trying to create a composite key. It would have been better if I had not created this. Okay, so alright, what we'll do here is we drop this table, drop. Well, you can specify table here, I guess so. table. Even if you don't specify, I think this should work, but we have to specify in the view, not in table, I guess. Person. And drop means you're dropping that person. Okay, so now this thing again to that. Okay, so here I guess you have to specify this again. Supposed to go. Okay, good. Drop table. What's the table name? Person. Okay. Now it's supposed to pop up saying that are you sure about it? And I will execute the drop table person. Yes, of course. Oh, too bad. I'm really bad on this. Drop table person. Okay, now it's supposed to show the pop-up. Are you sure you want to drop? Yes, of course. And the person lives here. Okay, that goes up. So that's how you can drop it. So okay, we want to do that because too much of table unnecessary, we don't want to create too many tables here. So because we are just creating tables in all of the lectures. So okay, here we are trying to do, here is multiple primary keys. Okay, let's see if this thing works. So this is what we are trying to do is, let's find out. So those are the comments, this is a warning here, and didn't work. So that's supposed to mean this. This is a comment, so I don't think there should be any problem. References. So we are trying to create a column. I'm trying to create. We are getting an error. Expected position 178. So there is a syntax error with this. Of creating, but this is how you can create some. You have to give the bracers properly. These bracers actually are creating problem. But still it gives the same problem. So okay, there's a little bit syntax issues here, but here you can define multiple column primary key. So you have this composite primary key, that's called composite primary key, and you can define that here. So you can do that. Now let's go to the next section. Basic table create. Okay, we were creating tables from long way, so we are not going to create again. So we know this. Okay. we are creating the person ID column with an integer, not null, and primary key. So person ID will be a primary key. Last name with variable character that can take up to 80 characters. Who has the name with 80 characters? But you want to do that still. First name with 80 characters, of course. Variable character. You know what? This is so complex. See, you're trying to create a table of first name and last name of variable character, right? That's good, you have variable character. If you put only character, right? So the problem is some people name actually starts with exclamation mark. You know what? Some people name starts with exclamation mark. So for that people, if the database doesn't take that, so it gets very complicated. So how do you know it? So nobody name starts with everyone name starts with alphanumeric, right? But there are special characters. If you notice that Romanian and French characters, right? Those guys have the tilde and all those things. So that's the reason you want to give as variable character, not just character. Okay, so that should supposed to include all those special characters too. So okay, so that's the reason you want to give that. And the text, and it's okay. So we are creating database. We are creating tables always. So okay, but only the point here is we are creating here, okay, with foreign key. This should work. Let's try this. Okay. I hope this should work. It didn't work for us, so we'll try to use this one. So here we are trying to create a table called account here with primary key with as account ID and foreign key with person ID. So here again, this we have done this before. We'll try to do it again so get some understanding. Wow. Didn't work. You know what? We have just dropped the table of person. Too bad. I remember we dropped this person. That's the reason it was not able to reference this person and person ID. So that's the reason we are not able to work it out. Okay. So there's a problem. Too many tables. Too many. So we just drop this table, but you can do with other table. It's not a problem. Use car and use car ID. This should work. Oh no. Or not. So I just want to see here. Yeah, it's there, right? Key column. So that is not a primary key. It's supposed to be a primary key. Okay. So key column card ID doesn't exist in the table. How interesting. Are we missing something here? Okay. So we should have worked, but for some reason it's not working. Okay. So let's go to the next section. Table structure. Okay, this guy is creating more and more tables dividing. Okay, so here the primary key is ID. Fine, that's constraint. You are putting this constraint as a foreign key. And reference parent key, we have dropped the parent key. So oh no, wait, parent, we don't have parent table, do we? We don't have parent table, so this query won't work. Okay, so but you can create this table. Okay, so with here the point is you are creating with primary key ID, and the key you're using this. Okay, and the constraint you're adding here, additional thing is constraint as foreign key in my parent with reference to parent ID. Okay, this is what you're trying to do here. This is the main concept here. Okay, thing is you're adding constraint to that particular key. Okay, so cloning an existing table. Okay, that's so very interesting. Okay, so we'll go to cloning here. This is cloning is see, this is used for admins. Normally this admin guys uses this, and cloning is just kind of mirroring an existing table. So table can be replicated as follows. Okay, we don't have parsing table, so we could use people table. Let's try to use this query. This is not working, so okay, create table, cloned people. We have people. Cool. We have to be careful on this syntax. This is case sensitive, so you want to use very carefully. Let's see what it does. Ooh. Here it created a table with cloned people name. Okay, and the information whatever is there in that table copies that into this table. So that is good. Okay, so here you are cloning this table. Let's save it as 25th. Clone MySQL set. Okay, so that's a cloning table, and let's see what happens. So there are other things you can do with this. So if you want to get information from a table which is not null, because there's a lot of information which is null, right? So if it's not null, then you can also get that information of it records in a table which is not null. So you can use this not null function there. Okay, and let's declare. Okay, you can create a table with not null. That's two. You can do that. Fine. Okay, let's go to the next section. Table create with timestamp column to show last update. So we'll try this query. So what we are trying to do here is we are trying to create a table where it shows timestamp. when was the last timestamp was updated. So you don't need this actually, because you have this in an information schema. All this is actually stored in information schema, whatever you're trying to do. But we'll try this and see if this works. Okay, so we have created a table called test last update, where the information is there, but there are no records for this. Okay, so I will drop the table actually, and it just we are just creating tables all the way actually, but different functions, using different functions. That's the point here actually. We are using a lot of functions here. You remember, we use null, you use not null, you use regular expression, we use non-regular expression, we use group by functions, you have left outer join, a lot of things we have used. Although we are trying to create we have created a lot of table, but we are trying to understand the functions inside the table actually. That's the point. Okay, so the similar way here. So we are trying to see this current timestamp and the last update. So comment section will be last update. Okay, so we can create table from select. Okay, you can do that. Create table from select. Create a table from select. You have to create a table first, then select it. That's the point. Okay, so this is not you can go through this handout. That's fine. It's similar way of creating this table, and again it's selecting that table. Okay, with all the attributes and with some attributes you can do that. Here it doesn't work because it's not been accessed, but you can do that. Okay, so you can work on this one. So you will be having this handout, and okay, so that's pretty much of cloning and of timestamp. That was just an example for this timestamp. So okay, so that's pretty much for this class. So we'll go to the next class and see you in the next class. Thanks.